Okay, so let's talk about some tools that will maximize the value of your extracts from CalPads. Notepad, batch file templates, and YouTube. So here we have CalPads, and here we have the extracts home screen. I've already made my request and then retrieved the extracts, so I have them available to me. All right. And so first, let's talk about Notepad, right? So let me bring up an extract so we can see how to use it in Notepad. And here I have a Sprig ODS download here. Let me open this up. Oh, and two. All right. So all the ODS extracts pretty much look like this. You have this dash, which we have talked about previously in different modules of this training, and you have time date stamps, right? For instance, we're looking for a specific character that we needed to change out. Let's say we're getting the IVR 009 and we suspected that it was an apostrophe, okay? What we're going to do is show the functionality how to quickly find and correct this just in Notepad, right? Since most of your systems will default open in Notepad. All right, so let's demonstrate how to find a character. So often LEAs may get an IVR 009 because there could be character in your file or a character in CalPads. And now that you're trying to submit the file, it doesn't allow. So I got this extract, student program ODS extract, just for demonstration, right? You go to edit, find. Now, one thing you want to make sure is that your cursor is up here because it's going to go from here down, right? However big the document is. So if your cursor's down here and something you're looking for is above it, it may not find it. So put the cursor at the top of the file, and I'm just looking for this apostrophe. I suspect it's causing a problem. And very quickly, you can see we found it, right? I can delete that character if I want it. If I want to inspect a record or some records, I could look for a date. I could look for SSID. I could look for a name. I could look for some characters like, see, it says cannot find because my cursor was down here. Now, if I put my cursor up here, click find next, I can find just the characters. The complete name is Jimbo, but you can see I find those characters, right? So it's a great tool. What if you wanted to replace something? So let's say I made changes to data in this file. Okay, so we have some changes and I want to say 181, right? So what I've done is I'm trying to add a program 181 record to the student's record. And quite simply, I just copied the existing data from one program record, added the 181 record with all the same information, same birth date, name, start date, so on and so forth. Again, this is just for the purpose of demonstration, right? So we've made a change, whatever your change is to the data, and we quickly want to upload this back into CalPad. So we have to make it into a format that is acceptable, and we can do that in Notepad. So I'm going to go to replace, right? The find and replace function. And I know that the SPRG-R file type is not accepted, but the SPRG file type is accepted. So I want to replace all. And you see how quickly that has been replaced, right? That's one of the beauties of Notepad. You can quick search, quickly replace data if you're familiar with the file structure and the information within the file. Now, I know to submit this file, this time date stamp has to be deleted here. And so for every record, I'm going to get rid of this. This time date stamp that is on the ODS extracts is not part of the submission file structure. That's why I am removing it. And I just leave it with the last delimiter, right? So let me save this as example 2. Right? And we'll come back to this. and close this, right? Okay, so if we did everything correctly in Notepad, we should be able to upload that file. So first, let's select the file type, which is SPRG, and then choose the file, extract example 2. This is it. And we will upload that file. File upload successful. So we passed the first set of structural validations. That's great. Now, hopefully the data within the file will post. It was just a mock example, so I'm not sure that it will, but we'll just hang tight and see what happens. But we just wanted to demonstrate that even in Notepad, you can make changes to a extract using find and replace, change the structure so that it fits the submission format, and then upload the file. And that is what we have done so far. And so we can see now that the extract that we modified and submitted just using Notepad has passed, right? So, great job, right? I pat myself on the back. But, again, the purpose is just to show you how Notepad can be a tool. Very simple tool, but very effective. Okay, so the next demonstration is we're going to show you how to use the batch file templates. Okay, so let's set up a scenario. All right, so we have this student, Joseph Rizal, fake student, of course, and the enrollment start date was 8/23, right? And we notice that the program records are 8/22. And although this is allowed because they're eligibility programs and their program could start before the enrollment, I know that this is erroneous data and I want to make a correction. Okay. So in CALPADS, the program membership start date or the program record start date, whatever you want to call it, you cannot edit, right? You cannot simply change it because it's the operational key. So, there's several ways to do this. One way would be to delete the records online and recreate them online, right? But if there were multiple records or for some reason they were hard to identify, whatever the case may be, this can be done using ODS extract, basically taking these program records from CALPADS into a file, identifying them, making changes, then submitting those changes to CALPADS. So let's demonstrate how one might do that, right? So the first thing I need to know or understand is because I want to change the operational key, I essentially have to delete these records and submit new ones, right? So, all right, so here's our student program download. And we went to the CALPADS user manual, resource, batch file templates, and we want the student program file template, right? Because we have a student program ODS extract. Okay, here's the template, how it looks. You always want to put your cursor, activate cell A2, enable editing. Okay, and so we're going to import data into this file. We're going to import our extract into this file. I'm going to go very quickly because we have the instructions on how to do this on our Figmat CSIS YouTube channel. Okay, so here's our Figmat CSIS YouTube training channel. If you go to playlists, you scroll down, troubleshooting tips, right? So just you find troubleshooting tips. In the troubleshooting tips playlist are instructions on how to use Excel. Perhaps we can put Excel into the title here in the future if this playlist expands and it's solely Excel videos, but it tells you how to import file extracts into Excel templates. That's the video you want to see more deliberate instructions. Okay, so let's go back to Excel. And here's our batch file template. You just go to data, get data, Legacy Wizard. If you don't have Legacy Wizard available, I suggest you watch the training videos. Find our extract, import, want a delimited file. I know my delimiter is the caret. I want all cells. So a shift and control text. Yep. And again, specific instructions for what we just did and why we did it are in the training video. See how quickly it is to import, right? And so just like in Notepad, we can view the extract, right? Excel makes a great visualization tool. I can see all the data. And the only records I want to correct are for this SSID here. So I have these two records. So I'm going to just focus on that specific student. And so I'm going to remove this data from my extract. So now I have records for the student. And remember, we want to correct program start date for the student. Okay, so here we have the ODS extract imported into a batch file template. We'll zoom in. You can see that the ODS extract has the student program-R format and time date stamp. So the first thing I want to do is we don't need time date stamps. So we'll delete that, right? And then, I'm going to upload this file. So I need to make sure that the record conforms, right? The record type conforms to what can be submitted. So now I have the two program records, right? And the first step is I have to delete these. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this file because I have to make two steps. I have to first delete and then resubmit. And so since I know I'm resubmitting, let's just copy the file, blank workbook, and I'm going to paste the data in here, just values. I selected just values, and I'm changing the education program membership start date, right? It should align with my enrollment start date. And I'm going to save this. Browse. Let's go to downloads. Correct this. I don't need this anymore. And then this is going to be a delete file. And so first I have to delete. So what I'm doing is changing the transaction type to code. The record is exactly the same as it is in the CALPADS ODS. I just need to delete it. And I'm going to name this file. All right. So we'll upload our files. So let's first go to the file type, student program. First, we're going to choose delete. Where's our delete programs? Open, load. And remember, you may be new to the functionality of extracts and using them, but submitting files, you have to follow the rules of submission. So first we have to delete the programs, right? So that's what we're going to do. And we have to wait for the file to submit and process. So the beauty of YouTube, we can skip this part. Okay, so we can see that delete file posted. The two records that were included had no problem. We can confirm that by going to the student program record. See, there are no records for this student. So now we're going to do the second step. We're going to submit the corrected records. So we're going to wait and see what the result of that second file submission is. All right, so file posted, two past records. So let's go back to the student's record. Let's refresh. Okay, so we can see the two program records here with the corrected start date, 8/23/2022, matching the enrollment start date, 8/23/2022. So again, whether it's in Notepad or a batch file template, the extracts can be used to modify current existing data in CALPADS. Several different reasons. As you become experienced in CALPADS, you'll probably increase your extract utilization. All right. So let's demonstrate a specific type of extract. So you enroll your students, you complete the SSID process, and we'll refer back to the user manual, right? What's new? So the SSID process has recently changed. We have some videos here, post-process and match tool. Talk about that. Specific short video for SSID assignment. If you scroll down, you can see that here, CALPADS SSID assignment, post-process redevelopment, and then sorting for new SSIDs using the SSID extract. So this is here. Also, it's located on the YouTube training channel. Let's go back. So we're at the CSIS YouTube training channel again. If I type in SSID extract, I can see sorting for new SSIDs using the SSID extract. So we have a video dedicated to that. Information about enrolling students, SSID assignment, how to use the match tool, so on and so forth. All right. Now, let's go back to the extracts home screen, right? And we have SSID extract. Let's show you some of the nuance, right? So, I've extracted an SSID extract that I have here, and I've already downloaded it. And if you go to the user manual, we go back to the batch file templates, resource, batch file templates, and we scroll down. These are all file type templates, ODS extract templates, okay? Now, for those specific extracts that don't file a file type format, like the SSID extract or the direct certification, you find those templates here. And so you could just download the SSID extract template, which I've already done, but you just click the button and download. And here you have your two templates. Now, okay, so after you have a yellow ribbon that says enable editing, you click that, the template, and you might have a security risk, right? Either the CalPADS user manual isn't a trusted site, and so your Windows Defender is not allowing macros to be performed. And so this button here, which will make getting data into this template very easy, is not operable. All right. So what you need to do is save this file, right? Just save it. And then when you save it, you right click on the location that is saved, you go to properties, and you'll see security at the very bottom. The file came from another computer and might be blocked to help protect this computer. You click unblock, you apply, and click OK. I've already done that, and I had to save this for an example, right? Just to demonstrate. So in this file, I'll right click, and you can see that I've already done that. I don't have the security option here, right? Because I've already done that step. So once you enable that macro, open the file. I don't have that ribbon anymore, right? And let's just delete all that, right? I don't have that ribbon anymore. And so all I need to do now is click import, select the SSID extract, and click open. And you can see all the data is properly imported into my file. And you can, just space out your headers so that you can read them and use the data as you see fit. Now, the purpose of the SSID extract is to upload newly obtained into your student information system. So a lot of times you can download the extract and upload it without importing it into this file. You just upload it directly into your student information system. You may be able to select, or it may automatically identify the students by their local ID, however your student information does that. If that functionality is not supported in your student information system, one of the great things about the SSID extract template is that it helps us see all the data in that extract. And so the nuance is we're going to get a return of all the students enrolled and their SSIDs that met our extract search criteria, not just new students. Okay. And so this field, SSID create date, is how we would sort for newly acquired SSID. So if I completed my enrollment process ending with anomaly matching, right? I could extract this file the next day, let's say, and get my SSIDs. Just sort here, and you can see the most recent create date is listed. And one of the great things about this extract is there's pertinent information that might not be available upon enrollment, like if there's a pre-existing English language status code, status date, the primary language, whether or not that's a student with disabilities. If it's a student with disabilities, we would know to let those who work with our IEP, our special ed staff, to update their record so we could avoid certain 132s. We can tell them, hey, can we adopt the IEP that's reported in CALPADS at the previous school until we can get this student tested? This is a list of students we need to be tested. And then you have your earliest enrollment start date as well. So some good information here, and you can see how quickly the file was imported in using the SSID extract. So real quickly, before we conclude demonstration about using tools and SSID extracts, we just want to reiterate that under resources, you have written instructions of how to convert extract files into an Excel format, how to import that data using those extract templates, a host of different template types for all the different extracts you may have in CALPADS, all in the user manual. And again, the CSIS YouTube training channel has several resources. You could type in extract in the search, see a list of videos where we may demonstrate how to use extracts or the use of extracts or talk about them. You can shortcut and look for Excel in the search for the page, and all the videos related to using the extracts in Excel are there. And then, of course, knowing the playlist, you have the SSID match tool, you have the troubleshooting tips, which we talk about using the different extracts, and then the CALPAD system documentation video. So several tools available for you when you're using your extracts.